Did you know that in some Balkan villages, people still whisper to the bread before slicing it? They believe bread has a soul, and cutting it without a blessing could bring bad luck. This is not just an old tale. In parts of Romania and Serbia, the bread is kissed and crossed before being touched with a knife. In the Balkans, death and birth are deeply connected. In Bulgaria, newborn babies are not shown to strangers for 40 days, to protect them from the evil eye. But in some Macedonian villages, people used to tie red threads to a baby's wrist and put garlic near the crib, not just as decoration, but to confuse or repel wandering spirits. There's a belief in the southern parts of Albania that if you dream of your teeth falling out, someone close to you will die. But if you dream of clear water, joy is coming. Old women still interpret dreams as messages from the ancestors, the dead trying to speak through symbols. In certain parts of Serbia, on the night before a wedding, the bride is covered with a veil, not only for modesty, but to hide her from jealous spirits. It is believed that envious beings, invisible to us, attend happy events and try to curse those who shine too brightly. In Romania, there is a tradition called Kalucari, a mysterious ritual dance performed by men during Pentecost. They leap and stomp to banish illness and evil. The dance is so old, no one really knows where it came from, but it's said to have power over spirits and the devil himself. The dancers take a vow of silence and avoid touching the ground with their hands, lest they break the sacred rhythm. Some old shepherds in the Carpathians used to sing to their sheep, not for fun, but to protect them. Songs were seen as charms, and if one sang the wrong song, wolves might come. In Bosnia, there's a custom where people bury the placenta under a fruit tree, believing it ties the child's soul to nature. The stronger the tree grows, the healthier the child will be. If the tree withers, the family takes it as a warning. In rural Kosovo, a mother-in-law would not say the name of her daughter-in-law for the first year of marriage, but as a sign of humility and transition, instead, she would call her our bride, or the good one. In some Bulgarian villages, on the first day of March, people give each other red and white strings called march. They tie them to trees once they see the first stork of spring. If you wear it too long, it's said you'll never get married. There's a curious belief in Montenegro that if a bird flies into your house, someone will visit you soon. But if the bird doesn't find its way out, it means bad news will arrive with that visitor. Old folk in North Macedonia used to believe that shadows could be stolen. If someone stepped on your shadow at the wrong moment, they could steal your strength or even shorten your life. For this reason, funerals were sometimes avoided at noon, when shadows are shortest and weakest. In parts of Greece that bordered the Balkans, there's an eerie custom during Easter. People dye eggs red, not just to celebrate, but to protect the home from demons. A red egg is buried near the doorway to seal in blessings and keep curses out. In some old Vlach communities, it was believed that whistling indoors calls snakes, not symbolically, real snakes. Children were told never to whistle unless they wanted to invite something slithering in from the dark. In Croatian folklore, witches are not always old women. Sometimes, they are beautiful girls with one unusual trait. These witches can charm you with their voice and dance, but once you fall asleep, they steal your breath. In Romania, there is a legend about the eel, wild forest spirits, who dance in circles at night. If you stumble upon a circle of flattened grass in the woods, do not step in it. It's said those who interrupt the dance become mute, mad, or vanish forever. Some say the Balkan land itself remembers blood. On certain battlefields, even after hundreds of years, grass refuses to grow. Locals avoid those places, especially after dark. In Bulgaria, a pregnant woman is not allowed to cross water at night, rivers, lakes, even streams, because it is believed spirits live in moving water and can swap a soul for another. That's why babies born during full moons are wrapped in silver thread. There is a bizarre funeral tradition in some parts of Serbia. A plate is broken at the cemetery gate as the coffin passes. This is done so that the dead do not look back and take someone with them. In remote Albanian areas, old men say bees know who dies. When someone passes, the beehives are told. If the bees are not informed, they stop producing honey. If they leave the hive, it means they've taken the soul with them. In some parts of rural Romania, mirrors are covered when someone dies, not because of superstition, but because it's believed the dead may appear in the reflection. If they do, they might call someone else to follow. In old Bosnian tradition, bread is never thrown out. Even if it's stale or moldy, it's placed on a rock for birds or animals. Bread is sacred. Some say, if you disrespect it, you'll have hunger in the next life. There is a legend in northern Greece about a mountain that whispers to people who are lost. Locals believe that if you ever hear your name spoken on the wind while hiking, you must not answer, because the one calling you is not human. In the past, during harvest in the Balkans, the first bundle of wheat was never used. It was hung in the house, sometimes even dressed in clothes, as the spirit of the field. The harvest spirit would protect the family until the next season. In parts of Serbia and Montenegro, fire is believed to be a living being. When lighting a new fire in the house, people would say a short prayer. Fire is never put out with water. It's smothered gently, like one would hush a crying child. There are tales of the Zimu in Romania, a dragon-like creature who comes down to steal maidens, not by force, but by seduction. The Zimu is intelligent, speaks beautifully, and often wears human clothes, but he always smells faintly of smoke. In Bulgaria, a rooster is believed to sense death. If one crows at midnight, it means someone nearby will die within days. That's why roosters were often kept near the front door, as guardians against the invisible. Old Macedonian families used to keep dried herbs behind every door, not for scent, but to ward off spirits. If a child cried too much, the grandmother would burn sage and whisper to the smoke. They believed it wasn't the child's fault, it was something clinging to them. In the Balkans, time itself is not always linear. There are thin days, like Christmas Eve or St. Andrew's Night, when the veil between worlds is so fragile that the dead walk beside the living. On these nights, it's said you must not laugh too loud or dance with strangers. And finally, in almost every Balkan culture, there is one shared belief. Never brag about happiness. It invites envy. And envy in the Balkans is not just an emotion, it's a force. It moves in silence, through glances and whispers. And when it strikes, not even the strongest can explain what went wrong. So next time you walk through an old village and you see bread left on a window, red threads tied to trees, or hear a sudden crow at night, remember, in the Balkans, the past is not gone. It walks beside us, watches us, and sometimes speaks through the wind.